I used to hit snooze 3 times until I scrolled on TikTok, threw on a hoodie half asleep, and then started my day. Now I'm up at 5 a.m. on purpose. And no, it's not just for aesthetic reasons. This routine didn't make me productive. It helped me stop feeling anxious, disorganized, behind in life, all the things. And I'm showing you exactly how I built it step by step. So let's get right into the video. I started getting up a lot earlier because I was tired of feeling like, one, I didn't have a routine, and 2, feeling like I had no time for me. So the only reason I'm convinced that we get anxious or we feel disorganized is because our life feels chaotic. We feel like we haven't prepped. Preparation is key, not just when you're about to present a PowerPoint, not just when you're getting ready for a job interview, but if you take those practices and do it in your life, it's gonna show up in so many different areas. And that's what took me so long to realize that I wanted to take you the amount of this video to start implementing into your life. So what actually happens between 5 a.m. and 9 a.m. is unlike anything else. The world is still asleep. So you get so much more done before your coworkers or your managers wake up and decide that they want to send you a Teams message at 8:30 in the morning, or before anything really, like kids start waking up, before your spouse gets up, like whatever and whoever. You have so much more time when you wake up with the birds, as my mom would say. So at 5 a.m. I'm waking up and I'm not hitting the alarm. Honestly, I have trained my body to a point where when I see sunlight, I'm just up for the day. Like I know I've been sleeping for a while, so now it's time to get up, it's time to start the day. That makes me feel like I have so much more autonomy over how it goes, how it starts. What I've started to implement more and try to get a lot better in is, if you know me and God, we've been rocking like this. So I try to start my day with prayer. I try to start my day with reading the word because it sets my intention for the day. I notice what my day looks like when I do not start it with God, and it is frustrated. It is screaming at people in traffic. It is frustrated because my eggs didn't turn out the way I wanted them, versus when I do start my day with him, whether it be a prayer, whether it be worship, whether it be reading, like I feel so much more like, all right, it's more of like that burnt toast theory. If you've ever seen it or heard of it, if you haven't, the burnt toast theory is basically like you burn your toast, it makes you late for a meeting, but maybe it's because you didn't need to experience something that happened on the road and you just so happen to just burn your toast, and had you not, maybe you would have been around it. And I find that to be God's divine timing. You can see it as the burnt toast theory, you can see it as however your brain likes to interpret it, but it has saved me on so many occasions where I just think to myself, I am exactly where I need to be. Once I transition from spending time with God, quiet time in the morning with myself and with him, I try to get daily movement. I'm not the best at being a 5 a.m. gym girly, but I will do my best to start my day very early before 8 a.m. where I'm doing some type of daily movement. That could be going to the gym, that could be going for a walk, going for a jog, something that is causing me to move my blood flow. It truly does set my tone. Even stretching, like as you get older, even into like your mid to late 20s, stretching is key. So if you are in your early 20s and below, start stretching and just making it a part of your daily day, because it is going to make worlds of difference. When you're getting out of bed, about to head to work, you just don't want to be someone who is like approaching 35, approaching 40, approaching 50, and you're like, oh, it hurts to get out of bed. And it's because your bones are not getting the movement that they need and your muscles aren't getting stretched out. At 6 a.m., this is when you can start really thinking about the day, start being a little bit more intentional, setting your intentions for the day. This is your mindset work, so this is your journaling, affirmations, whatever it takes for you to see pen to paper, pen to sticky note, whatever that works for you. I need you to start thinking to yourself, all right, today I'm gonna have this kind of day. If you set your intentions, even though there might be some challenges along the way, you remember how you started it, so you can always bring yourself back to it. That's what I feel like we don't talk about enough, is starting our day with intention. Recently, I started doing this before I start work each week. I'll say intrinsically and extrinsically, or internally or externally. This is how I want to present. This is how I want to be. Internally, say for example, I want to make sure that I am showing up, I am committed to the work. If there's something that needs to be a pivot, what is an alternative I can already have? So basically prepping myself for knowing that it's not going to happen the way I see it in my head. That way I can set my intention on how I react and show up in those moments. Externally, how do I want people to experience me? I want them to feel kindness. I want them to feel proactiveness. I want them to feel that way. If they don't, or they don't really care, that's not really up to me, but I know that the actions that I'm doing internally are going to show and complement externally. 6:30 a.m., planning, looking at your day. Maybe you're someone that likes to plan your week ahead because that's just what works for you. But if it's daily, that's fine too. Whether you're a digital or a paper planner, whatever you do, it needs to be written out, not just held in your brain. Write down your top 3 goals. I was actually watching a podcast earlier this week. It's called The Diary of a CEO, and they had Kevin O'Leary on. If you're not familiar, he multi-billionaire, millions of dollars, like really just doing his thing. He talked about how having and setting 3 non-negotiable goals throughout the day are so important. Like you have 18 hours within that day, and you're gonna get those 3 goals done. It's not within the week, it's not within the month, it's in that day. And I think that does create a certain structure in you, a certain discipline, that when things do get hard, because your daily routine is, I'm gonna finish these 3 things no matter what, it's gonna be easier for you to show up when life's challenges are really challenging. 7 a.m., this is probably about the time most people, if they're working a 9 to 5 or they're working for themselves or whatever, you show up for yourself at work, this is when you're getting ready. What can be helpful while you're doing this so you're not thinking about your day before it starts is listen to a podcast. That's one. Or a couple of other creatives that I'll link below if you're interested in finding things that can really propel your mindset forward positively. I'm not sponsored by any of this, but this is what helps my mindset. So if I can even share a nugget of wisdom, we don't gatekeep. We don't gatekeep over here. So check the comments below if you're looking for more people to listen to on your way to work as you're getting ready for work. That's really gonna instill a certain type of mindset before you even start your day. 8 a.m. is focused deep work or your commute. Depending on when you start work, some people start at 8, some people typically start at 9, the way I know work to be. Focused deep work, you are your best, your brain is the freshest at 8, 9, 10, maybe 11 a.m. Once you start heading into that afternoon, it gets a little bit groggy because you're waiting on lunch. You've kind of been in it for a few hours. The 8 to 11 a.m. hour is your best bet to get the best work done. In this time, make sure you're drinking a smoothie, you are eating eggs, you're eating God's food that's gonna help that brain power continue powering through. 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. is where I'm gonna get my hardest editing out. I'm gonna film and batch record these videos, or I'm going to prep myself for my work day if I know that I can get maybe an hour ahead of time because I know it's gonna be a busy day. I'm not gonna have time to get some quiet time unless I move somewhere else, and I may not have the luxury to because of my schedule that day. So that's how you're gonna set yourself up for success. 9 a.m., doing your work, you're doing your thing. Once 12 p.m. rolls around, you need to take a break. If you have the option, do a 30-minute, at best a 45-minute lunch break where you're still in tandem doing some work if you find yourself doing that. But mainly this time, it's gonna be for you to reset and think about your afternoon intentions. So what are small tasks that you can get done that still feel like wins? That's when you're doing kind of the low to medium lift work. That's kind of why I like having my meetings in the morning if I have the choice to, because it just helps me through that day. I am the freshest that day. And then night, you want to kind of set yourself up for success and kind of go into that slow night routine the same way you had that slow morning, so you can reserve all that energy for the beginning half of the day into the mid half, and then start slowing and winding down towards that 3 to 4 p.m. time in the day. The hardest part about waking up early is not waking up early. It's going to bed the night before. Nighttime routines are so pivotal. That's why I said closer towards that slower evening time, you need to think about, what do I need to get done before I head to bed tonight? And preferably before 10 p.m. There is a body clock within you that between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m., I believe, you are getting the best sleep. Like you are getting the best REM sleep. You're getting reset, recharged. You need that. Get off Fortnite, get off the binges, stop watching Pop the Balloon, get off Netflix. Like truly invest into your sleep life, because the best rest you get helps you decide how best you're gonna perform the next day. Now, some days you're gonna have off days. Like it's not gonna feel that routine. You're not gonna feel it. Something's gonna happen in life. It's gonna be tough. And that's okay to have an off day, but you need to think about, once I feel what I feel, because I'm a human and I acknowledge that I'm gonna have feelings and life is gonna happen, how am I gonna bounce back? How many days is it gonna take me to feel this? And how can I make up for that time when I'm back in a good headspace? It doesn't mean let your feelings run your life, but it means feel how you feel, but know that there's still work to be done. Unfortunately, that's just the life we live in, but you still make time to feel both spaces. What's changed since starting this for me is my mindset, my clarity, my confidence. So if you're struggling with how to show up at work, how to show up in your family, how to show up in your relationship, how to show up at, your small business, whatever, public speaking, this routine, this system, this plan, this preparation helps you in so many ways, more than the ones that you're looking to use it for. Higher energy, feeling more proactive versus reactive, more time for creativity and content. You just feel better knowing that you have a plan and a structure, and overall just better mental health. Now, what I will say is, although this is a 5 a.m. routine focus point, it doesn't have to be 5 a.m. Your 5 a.m. could be 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., but typically no later than that. The later you get, the less choices you have. Think about it like this. if you like going to the farmer's market, you know all the best food, all the best vendors are going to be out there the minute they open. But if you only go to the farmer's market at 10 a.m., maybe 11, your chances of getting the best eggs, the best fruit, the best vegetables are kind of second to none, because the early birds know what it takes to go out there and then come back home knowing that they got the best. Take what works for you and leave the rest. You don't have to follow this structure verbatim, but what helps me is structure and order. So I know that for me, if I was viewing this as a different content creator and I was watching someone giving me this info, I might write this down and then alter it as time goes on to see what works or not. You got to gather data about yourself and the way that you work to see how you can flow that into your lifestyle. When you're thinking about creating a reset routine, you have to set your intentions first. If you just say, I want to reset all these different things, it'll be so much easier for it to fall off after a couple weeks. And what we want is longevity, not just now. So if you're tired of feeling disorganized, chaotic, just everywhere, feeling like you don't know what's going on in your life, you're just kind of existing, not living, try this out. Try it out for 90 days. That is the best time to build a lifestyle. It takes 90 days to build a lifestyle, 21 days to build a habit, 7 days to just see consistency. And you will see so much of a different version of yourself. That's gonna help you build your dream life alone. So if this was helpful and you stayed to the end of this video, leave this emoji. Let me know if you like this kind of videos in the comments below, because I love creating value for you that's also valuable for me and valuable for life. So if this was helpful, I gotta know, because I will make more. And I hope you guys feel a little bit more structured and organized throughout your week now that you have a plan and a system to get you through it. So I'll see you guys on the next episode of Party of One Podcast. Peace.